What's up, everyone? It's Jordan. So, for the longest time, overhead pressing has been my main pressing movement. I've done stuff like dips and push-ups in the past, and I still do dips to this day. When I built this rack, I put these little notches in there. You can see them right there and right there. And put a couple of metal bars in there so that I can do dips. And that's been really nice to supplement my overhead pressing movement, just so that I'm not constantly pressing overhead. I get a different range of motion. And personally, I feel like I'm a very, like, I would hesitate to even call myself an intermediate level lifter because I'm just not that strong. So I feel like I would personally benefit a lot from more varied pressing movements. And also, I'd like a bigger chest. And none of the stuff that I do really leaves my chest super sore. So I went ahead and bought a bench. And today is gonna be my first day actually giving bench press a go. I've done bench press in my workouts before, but never for more than like a week, maybe two. So I'm really gonna try to stick with this, learn how to bench properly, and hopefully be able to put up a good number. But my main goal is still to just get really good at overhead pressing. But hopefully, adding bench press in will just fill in some kind of gap in my physicality. But mostly it's for getting a big chest. Anyways, this is gonna be my first bench press session, so here we go. So that was my third set of 110 pounds. I planned to do 5, but after that last one, it felt pretty fucking tough. So I'm probably just gonna back down to 90 pounds to finish my sets. It felt okay. I feel a decent pump in my chest. I'm trying to keep the stress off of my shoulders, and I'm getting the feeling like that's where my body naturally wants to place the tension, probably because of years of overhead pressing. My shoulders are much more developed. in terms of pressing than my chest is. So yeah, it's really taking a very conscious effort to keep the stress where I want it to be. But so far so good. I feel like I can get used to this after like another training cycle or two. I feel like I can have a pretty standardized technique. I've already kind of got, after a few sets, just a few things that I'm mindful of, like when I start, keep my forehead under the bar. I think that's a pretty good place to unrack it from. Kind of maintaining a good arch, not like some crazy fucking arch, but just enough to really be able to stick my chest out, open the ribs, let the pecs get a stretch at the bottom, be able to keep my lats tight. And I feel like when I take a breath and like brace, it's more in the chest and not so much in the gut, like it is for squats and deadlifts. At least that's how it is for me. But yeah, like the brace is a bit more in the ribs is where I need to be. And also trying to pause at the bottom of each rep. I might have not on a lot of those. I think maybe halfway through the set I remembered to start pausing the reps, but just keeping the weight on the chest very lightly. I hear this cue of like a soft touch all the time. So just kind of like lightly resting the weight on my chest a little bit, not like relaxing my arms, but just enough to maintain the majority of the tension that I have on my chest and shoulders and arms, while being able to kind of like get a solid pause and then really explode out the bottom is kind of my intention. So far so good. I'm pretty happy with this. It feels really unstable. It feels really weird. It feels really like every rep is a misgroove almost, just because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this. My body does not know what the fuck it's doing. So really just trying my best to get this done. So I forgot to film my last set, but I figured on the last set, when I was using a lighter weight, I had a bit more capacity to kind of think while I was doing the reps. And I noticed that if I brought the bar like too low on my chest, it would make it really, I felt the load a lot more on my shoulders. So I think keeping the bar touch point a little higher up, like maybe about this part of my sternum, I felt the load a bit more in my chest, which is where I want it. So kind of consistently touching the same spot on my chest and not bringing it too low towards my stomach is going to be very helpful in chest development. So that's good to know. So that's it. That's the whole video. It's my first day officially working on bench press. So super excited to see where it goes. I've never bench pressed 225 before, so that's a new goal to have. That's it.